Well, good morning. Who's with us today? Piper, Gemma, Scarlett, Aviana? Maybe Cole or Matthew or Keenan or Tayton? Zach, Zoe? William, Ellie? Savannah, Aurora, Amelia? Maybe the older siblings are there. Maybe Christopher and Wesley. Maybe Richard and Brianne. Maybe Avery. Maybe Caden. Maybe Brecken. Who's with us today, ready for Lafcadio and Chapter 2? Here's the picture for Chapter 2. What's happening today? Remember before when he and the hunter were together and he ended up with the hunter's gun and he's walking back to the other lions? Here's what happens. Let's pick up the story. Now the other lions were all sitting around telling stories about who was the fastest in running away from the hunters and who was the bravest and who was the fiercest and other lies like that, like lions like to lie about. And when the young lion walked up to them carrying the funny stick, they all jumped up and said, "Yowee!" and "Yee-yow!" and "Wow!" and "Where did you get that gun?" Here's the picture. Gun? Gun? What is a gun? Asked the young lion. That's the stick they shoot us with, said the old lion. Now take it out of here and throw it away. It gives me goosebumps just to look at it. Now, wasn't that a silly thing to say? Imagine a lion getting goosebumps. That is almost as silly as a goose getting lion bumps. So the young lion sadly walked away with the gun in his teeth. I wonder, said the young lion to himself, I wonder how they shoot this thing anyway. So he picked up a bullet in his teeth and he pushed it into the gun with his nose and he shoved it into the barrel with his tongue. Then he stuck his left tooth into the trigger and tried to shoot it, but he couldn't. Then he stuck his right tooth into the trigger and tried to shoot it, but he couldn't. And then he tried to pick it up with his paws and shoot it with his claws, which was even sillier. And he tried to shoot it with his whiskers. And all he got out of that was tired whiskers. And he stuck his tail into the trigger and he pulled as hard as he could. And the gun went boom. Look. And all the other lions jumped up in the air again and started to run away. Hey, said the young lion, stop running. It is only me, and I have shot the gun. Well, I tell you that when the other lions found out it was only the young lion making all that noise, they were very angry. You had better forget about shooting, they said, and stick to lioning where you belong. But the young lion was very happy about shooting the gun. And do you know what he started to do? Well, every afternoon, while the other lions were sleeping, he would sneak away over the mountain and he would practice and practice and practice for hours and hours until finally one day he was able to lift the gun up in his paws. And he practiced and practiced for days and days until finally he was able to shoot the gun. But of course he wasn't able to hit anything except the sky. And so he practiced and practiced for weeks and weeks until finally he was able to hit the big mountain. And he practiced and practiced for months and months until soon he was able to shoot the waterfall. And soon he was able to shoot the cliff. See him? And soon he was able to shoot the trees, and soon the coconuts off the trees, and then the berries off the bush, and then the flies off the berries, and then the ears off the flies, and the dust off the ears, and finally the sunlight off the dust. And do you think he was a good shot? Well, just the best in the world, that's all. Just the best shot in the whole world. And what did he do for ammunition? Why, every time he ran out of bullets, he just went out and ate up another hunter and took his bullets and went back and practiced some more. There he is. And then one nice day, as he was practicing, the young lion heard some shooting from the other side of the jungle. And I don't have to tell you what happened. All the lions started running again. Why are you running? Where are you running? Asked the young lion. Look, said the old lion, we have gone through all this before. You had just better stop asking so many questions and move. Sorry, I almost forgot to show you the picture. And I forgot to tell you we're at the start of chapter 3. I need to get better at this. So the young lion moved. But after he'd been running for a while, he stopped and he said to himself, hey, why am I running away? See, he stopped. And he sat down right there in the middle of the jungle and began to shoot back at the hunters. Boom! Boom! And suddenly, guess what? There were no more hunters left. There he is. Look how he's learned to shoot. And after a while, all the other lions came crawling out of their hiding places, and they couldn't believe their eyes. And they said, hey, what is going on around here anyway? And, hey, what's happening? And, golly gee, and stuff like that. And they were all surprised and happy. And they all had lunch, and then they lay down and slept in the sun with smiles on their faces and little bits of red wool on their whiskers. And the young lion? Why, he was the happiest of all because he had piles and piles of new ammunition. And all the other lions said that he was the greatest lion that they had ever seen. And they had seen plenty of lions. So all the lions lived a very happy life. There they are. Oops, let me move that. See them? And they slept all afternoon and played in the sun and floated in the river and had a good time and never worried about anything, because every time hunters came to shoot, why, that young lion shot right back at them. Boom, bum, bim, bim, bam, until there were no more hunters left. And when men came into the jungle to find out what happened to the hunters, bim, bam, boom, pretty soon there weren't any more of the finder-outers left. And when men came to find out about the finder-outers, boom, bam, bim. Pretty soon, there weren't any more of the finder-outers about the finder-outers left. And pretty soon, no men came into the jungle at all. And it was nice and quiet. And all the lions were fat and happy. And all of them had nice hunter rugs. Look at him floating in the water. See him? That's the end of chapter 3. We'll come back again for chapter 4. Bye, says Grandma Missy.